All right, so gonna try the full setup here. What I've got is Flight Simulator 2020, and then I'm using a Warthog HOTAS, and I've made a PNG using ED ref card, Elite Dangerous ref card, just manually overlaying all my mappings here, and I've created these operations with Joystick Gremlin, and then I'm using OVR Toolkit to pop up a photos, window from the desktop of just the Windows Photos program showing the PNG right in front of my face so I can read it all. All my bindings are there. I just hit a button on the joystick and I get the commands, which is super helpful for learning it when they're this complicated. And then up the top I have another window of OBS Studio Ups just so that I can see whether the stop and start recording had worked, which I have mapped to another button using Joystick Gremlin. And it looks good, so I can hide those things. The mappings are sweet. I've got the banana switch on the throttle of the Warthog, toggling 3 different states so I can get these red, green, and black, and get enough options to do a lot of the autopilot stuff. Yeah, and so here we are. I'm going to do a bush trip because I love these. It's just a quick 20-minute installment here, and something cool. Let's get my view a little more centered there. Um, and all right, so we're going to take off and head 334 from Inyakern, begin the second leg. Going to go northwest. Um, and we're going to get to a pass and toward Little Lake. All right, so here we are. And you can kind of, this is fun. You get these ISO lines on. So we can just meant to follow the white line. In this aircraft, it's great. We don't even have a glass cockpit like the other the X-Cub. So we really have to use visual references outside the plane. So hit the parking brake off. Flaps are up. And just crank it up. Parking brake was off. A little rudder to keep us on the runway. It's a proper airport. Was doing the Patagonia one yesterday, which is really cool. Finally got to legs 4 and 5 with some grass runways, which was kind of a blast. So here we are, and the frame rate, considering everything that this computer is currently doing, which is saving video to disk, running virtual reality in the most graphics intensive program maybe out there, it's not bad. So we're taking off. Heading we want is 334. There's my compass. Uh, we're not quite doing it. We want to go a little bit this way, and then we'll be doing it. Maybe we want to go this way? Nope, we want to go this way. So right about here. So we don't have any prop control on this plane. We do have mixture. Wow, is that not hooked up? Hmm. Um, Flaps were okay. My controls are working. I can get flaps. I guess maybe the mixture knob doesn't move on this thing, or it doesn't have one. Um, it is beautiful here in Northern California. I think is where I am. So yeah, this guy, we're going to be more manually trimming things. So, meant to be, oh, this is a long trip. So we're meant to be 11 minutes on this course. So we're meant to be heading, I think. All right, so a little bit further over. Oh yeah, I got myself drifted off here. No autopilot on this thing, which is kind of nice. Yeah, we're meant to be over here. Sorry, 334, not 34, which would put us over here. Yeah, so basically on the map, there's going to be, we're going to want to thread our way just to the right of those mountains, off in the distance there. Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to have a Pimax 8KX, and I will try that again. It just destroys the frame rate, but I might put it in potato mode and see if, just see what it's like to have all those pixels. In the last update, it cranked their settings back up really high, so that even in VR, we're back on like ultra on a lot of settings, and kind of boggled my mind that it didn't destroy everything. So that's good. All right, so we're going really fast here, which is kind of fine because I've got children upstairs that are going to want attention soon, so I might just try to cruise super fast. We'll see if we can trim this thing out. So now I could pop up this and just to remind myself, of course, trim is where it always is. But we'll just do that, and let's just see. Maybe we'll back off a little bit. 2,500 RPM is what you're meant to want, right? Oh, well, it's different on this thing. 5,000. It's still green, though. Apparently we can really crank it. So let's leave it at 5,000. Wow, we are actually skying. Is that Oh, 200 kilometers an hour. Okay. That makes more sense. We're not doing 200 knots. That would be sweet, but not what this plane is for. So, so this is probably the freeway we're meant to be following, or that one over there. So let's try to trim this thing out. Trim is kind of annoying in FS. I don't know if you're meant to pulse it or hold it, but I find that it's always like you're just shooting around it the whole time. So I'm going to try to do a little stick forward and then replace it with trim as I kind of back the stick out. Yeah, that worked. A little bit nose down. Ah, wow, that's actually great. It's perfect. That was lucky. So yeah, I guess you got to do that thing of hold the stick and then ease it back as you dial in little. I'm doing little pulses of trim, not holding it. Maybe it's meant to be like the key press. And this thing is remarkably stable in roll. So we're going. So now let's read some more stuff here. Let's do this for 11 minutes. I didn't set the timer, so I don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. But we're going to get to a pass, which is straight ahead, flanked by sloping hillsides, beautiful, and eventually toward the aptly named Little Lake. So I'm guessing Little Lake is maybe one of these things, or maybe that guy. And so we're going to pass some rivery stuff there. This looks great, actually. Yeah, that thing on the left there looks like that zigzag. Oh, maybe that's like a aqueduct or something. Interesting. So we're coming up. We're probably here. And what's our plan here? We're going to shoot up through the middle of this. And then are we landing at 099? Oh, yeah. So it's a pretty straight shot, but it's beautiful. Oh, hey, here's somebody. That might be real traffic. So I think since, all right, so let's see, that's 11 minutes. As you continue, you'll soar over volcanic fields and chasms. Awesome. South Hawaii Reservoir, Highway Reservoir. As you continue along Route 395, you'll soar over volcanic fields and chasms of sculpted black lava toward the Highway Reservoir's bifurcated bodies of water along the east side of the road. That's pretty cool. That's got to be this stuff. And then, at the far end of the upper reservoir, follow Los Angeles Aqueduct as it carries water north through the parched landscape. Where the waterway runs parallel in the path between them, you'll find an unassuming dirt runway. Yeah, dirt runway, finally. The Olancha Strip. Cool. And it's that thing. So if I find the aqueduct, it should be a little strip off to the right there. I wonder which I'm meant to use, though. This thing or this thing? This thing looks more dirty. So maybe we'll do that. All right. We haven't blown up the engine. We're trimmed out nicely. And, ooh, cool. We're passing these beautiful rivers here, which must be... Yeah, I think that's this stuff. Yep. It's cool, man. Reflections are amazing. Graphics are stunning. Alright, so normally I would probably maybe cheat a little bit in one of the Super Cubs by just turning on the heading bug and kind of having the plane steer itself and just dialing things into the compass. We can't do that. Look at the bindings a little bit here. I've got, on the throttle, I've got cockpit focus as a push forward on one of the buttons, which works pretty well. So that's on, yeah, button 4 on the throttle, which is pushing forward on the thumb hat. Does cockpit zoom. I find that works pretty well. It's pretty gorgeous. Yeah, so good there. Fuel. We are using fuel pretty quickly, but we're okay there. I like all this brushed aluminum stuff in this plane. Yeah, well, hopefully my high speeds won't. I mean, we run out of gas. Let's get back up to 5,000 RPM. I need to trim a little bit. So I think we're gonna head a little bit more left. I mean, the plane really, once you trim it out, it just goes. Okay, so here's some roads. Very nice. Scenery is very nice. Um, we're gonna do this thing soon. So, what else can I do? Oh, I was gonna play with the mixture knob. So choke, no. Oh, it's cabin heat control. That's why it didn't move when I did the mixture. So let's assume our pilot's comfortable. What do we got? Don't want to turn the avionics off. Ooh, I never calibrated my altimeter. I got that mapped to a button. So it's way back, bottom right corner of the throttle. I've got down for altimeter, up for heading. So you can just use that thing and just, let's see if it changes anything here. Altimeter, might have been heading. Well, I don't have a course deviation. I don't have a HSI or anything anyway, so. Nope, they're not changing. They must be fine. So let's get scooted over a little bit so we can head through the pass here. Very nice. It does make you want to take flying lessons, doesn't it? All right. So yeah, this plane is not a great one to demo all the bindings because it doesn't have a lot of the autopilot stuff. But the general idea is the boat switch. You switch between, you got your most important autopilot stuff: altitude hold, heading hold, nav hold on the base level, mostly on the stick stuff. And then you've got a shift forward to go into doing more autopilot stuff and the lights. And then you shift back to do comms and nav stuff on the boat switch. So this is going well so far. And right now I'm running on my old HTC Vive headset, and it's fine. It's totally nice. I would love to try the Reverb G2. It might be the sweet spot between number of pixels, i.e. not being too many like the Pimax, and clarity and lack of screen door and all that. But the immersion is just so great in VR. It's really it's nice to have all the eye candy, but it's pretty sweet no matter what. As long as you can focus on your instruments, as long as you got cockpit focus set up nicely so you can quickly zoom in and see what you need to see when things are happening. Yeah, I wonder if we're getting a little ridge lift. We're kind of bumping up a little. So we must be heading through this lovely canyon here. Very nice. And there's going to be these little lakey bits. And, there's an airport up there. I wonder if we'll hit that later. Is that an airport? I think that's an airport. It's a nav aid of some kind. So we're going to head up here, and then we'll see those volcanic lakes, and we'll find that dirt patch. It's going to be cool. So we are just coming through this part. Let's make sure our video is still recording. Yeah, looks good. Mic is working. I'm not sure we're getting the sim audio. Yeah, in fact, it looks like that didn't work, but we'll just have to live with that. It is the drone of an engine, mostly. Wow, that's beautiful. The wheel's doing good. I won't push on these struts. Flaps are up. And also have a good wheel here. It's always good to stick your head out the window. Cool. So we got any passengers today? Nope. Man, this thing looks fun. This would be so fun to fly in real life. Alright. So there should be... What's this little mountain here? Is that too small to register on my elevation? Or is it that? Little dots of water. There's a sort of spleen-shaped lake here. Huh. Uncertain. But it might not be as far as long as I thought, but or maybe I'm further. So where's the highway? If we think these gray lines are highway. Oh no, it could be this thing. It could be further along. Yeah, it's that thing. There's a little patch of water to the right there. So that is that. You got your little domey thing. Meant to be going over it, but that's okay. And then a few more splotches here. So we're actually doing great. So we're going to go over these things. and past those watery bits, and we'll be landing. So a bit of a ridge here. So we can go to the right of the road a tiny bit. Maybe I'll just try to figure out why my... let's not risk it. I'm going to try to figure out why the desktop audio didn't get switched, but maybe we'll skip that. It may have worked. The levels may just be too low, but I don't think so. Lots of people cruising around over there. That's a later part of the bush trip, or they're just going for it. So the last thing I haven't set up is on the bindings is views. I have I can go to instruments, and I can do snap views, which obviously you don't really need any of this in VR, but it would be nice to get more mapped on the externals. So you can look around with your head, obviously it's great, but having those snaps is kind of nice on the externals. So right now, I got left and right snap views, but the other buttons on that hat are doing heading bug right now. So if you push them while you're outside, you're going to change your heading. So I might have another, but I would need to find another level of shift modifier to add more at the moment. I guess I could put views on my thumb thing. So I got another layer of that I could use on the main thumb. Actually, that would be good. I got 5 buttons available there when I'm shifted back. Otherwise, it's pretty much used up. Yeah. It's diminishing returns at this point. You can really fly the whole thing in VR with pretty sophisticated autopilot. And then if there's anything not mapped, you just zoom your VR focus and grab the mouse. So it's totally doable. Alright, we are now coming up to these little mountains on the right here. Very pretty. Then there's that water. So we must be doing almost exactly this. There's a little bit of water there. And then we're going to see this dirt strip, which is going to be super cool. A little more nose down trim. Alright, I am going to pop over and try to see what's going on with my audio recording here. Alright, that should do it. Right. I was sending all the sound to my headphones because I find it's hard to get Steam to send sound to the right place. If you set it to when you set Steam to send the audio output to the system default, I find it often doesn't change. So but that meant that OBS was recording the default, but Steam was sending the sound to the headphones. So switched OBS over to headphones, and now it's got it in the middle of the stream, which is kind of cool. Let's see if that broke anything, but it seems good. Alright, we're 20 minutes in here. I think we're making good time. This is meant to be 24 minutes. And looking around me, by my calculations, we are just passing that little beautiful squidgy lake. There's going to be squidgy lake. And then peeling almost dead ahead should be this dirt runway. And the dirt runway is like that. Unless that's the runway. Maybe that's the runway. Let's just see what's the heading of this thing. Lancha Strip. I really don't know. That could be the taxiway. That actually might be the taxiway to parking. The wider thing might be the runway, which is also nicely parallel to the road and the aqueduct. So, let's see. We're going to come up here. Oop, someone's just starting out or landing. We're going to come up here. Do I get any indicators of the direction of the airstrip? No, I do not. And that will be the strip. Mat is currently over there, tooling around or doing something. Okay, so now I can see where this river happens. I can see where the road turns. And I don't see the road on here, but that's fine. There will be a runway around here. So there's where it turns into a little strip. And should be some like buildings off of the road actually. So it's gotta be, is that the aqueduct or a road? No, that's the road I think. So it should be left of the road. So it's gonna be between the road and the aqueduct. So it's probably that brown patch of stuff. So this is where I could use the extra pixels of something like the Pimax, because I cannot see the strip yet. I think it's dead ahead of me, and I just need to know which way to approach it. Yeah, it's that brown stuff. Does it go... Is it going to be straight ahead of me or pointing to the right? I cannot tell. It is meant to be unassuming. And luckily these planes stop on a dime, so no need to like start worrying about losing speed. Maybe it's a bit further along, because I don't see any straight lines. But that little bend looks a lot like the little bend on my map. I think this is it, and I just don't see what looks like landing. I think we're just going to land in the middle of that bronze patch. Could that be right? No, it must be further along. Let's see. See the buildings. Unassuming is right. You know, it does a few of these little bendy things. Okay. That's interesting photogrammetry. Oh, wait, is that a runway? There's something there. Maybe that's it. Just meant to land on that patch. Ooh, unless it's this thing. That looks like road to me. Or is that a runway? road? I think it was back there. I think we were meant to land back that away. So let's do it. Let's assume it doesn't matter which way you approach from. So we'll just sit down in there. It does have houses in the right place. Alright, throttle down. Let's just go nuts. Crank the flaps. Look at that thing. Down to nothing in milliseconds. And we'll fly it in a very ugly manner. Close to the parking. I mean, maybe this is a runway. Toe brakes with the stick fully back. Did not pitch pull. Parking brake on. Any sign from Microsoft? Ooh. Alright. This might not be it. Nope. Alright, we missed. Let's try again. Can do without the flaps. Alright, so let's figure out where the runway is. Alright, that the far end, yeah, follow the aqueduct that carries water north. Where the waterway runs parallel in the path between these unassuming dirt runway. Okay. Alright, could I be not far enough? Or am I too far? Or was that it? So, there's the highway, there's the aqueduct, and there's the next set of lakes. And there's not much elevation in between. I don't think the highway and the aqueduct are going to be that close together again. So, yeah, maybe it was further back. Let's follow the aqueduct. Unless that's it. That's a road. There's houses there. Yeah, I'm getting close to the next big lake, so it's gotta be further back, I think. Yeah, alright. Let's chuck it about a little. Or that was it, and it just didn't register my landing, maybe because I came in the wrong angle. There are meant to be like crisscrossing runways on this thing, right? Maybe those are meant to be different. Oh, it's pretty close to where they diverge, so maybe it's further back. It's this. I think it just didn't catch it. Right. Because the aqueduct crosses the highway. And then there's a patch of houses, and then another patch of houses. Yeah. Ooh. Are we sure that wasn't it? So here's the aqueduct. The aqueduct does this. Aqueduct crosses twice. That's according to this map. Crosses, then ducks back. Oh, I don't have the highway. I'm thinking of the white. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong line, actually. Alright, comes out of the lake. And it does a little bend, and then another bend, and then another little bend, and then it does that more major bend. And I think this has got to be it. Let's try landing from the other direction. See if that's what it wants. Unless it's like slightly further along. It's got houses on the right. Nope. Alright. Where's this runway? Is it just a tiny bit further along here? Oh. Oh. Well, that's a road. Ah. That might be it. By the buildings. No. Huh. Nothing there. That's not it. Huh. Gonna be way up. I don't think it can be way up here. That's the next big lake. Yeah. Oh, do I have to turn my engine off? I don't think so. It usually tells me when I hit the parking brake. See, I would say that up here can't be it because then I'm approaching. Yeah, that's that stuff. Oops, don't crash. Yeah, that's definitely that stuff, and it's too far. So let's turn one more time. Ugh. Huh. Where is that airport? I think I'm at it, but it doesn't like where I'm landing. Alright, there's two sets of houses on both sides of the freeway. The second set is on both sides of the freeway. The aqueduct is so where the aqueduct makes a what was that? Yeah, there's a little kink and then right side of the aqueduct. Right around here somewhere. I can see those houses. Houses on the left and then houses on both sides. Yeah, the houses don't look quite right. But oh, and there's a road taking off down. Yeah, that's it. The road splits off and goes back to the right. This is it. I just gotta find the runway that'll trigger it. Oh, so maybe it's way earlier. Those are the houses by the part that ducks right. And those are the houses on both sides. So, yeah, that's it. So where do I go to make it recognize that I've landed? Should I try this diagonal strip? Ton of flaps, throttle to 0. I mean, alright, I'm going to pause the recording while I try to figure this out. Anyway,